How you doing? Jonathan here for Tailhunter Sportfishing, and it's time once again for the Mexican Minute La Paz video fishing report, and this is going to cover all of the fishing action for our Tailhunter Sportfishing fleet in La Paz, Baja, Mexico, and for the past week of the 23rd through the 30th of March 2020. Wherever you are, hope you're doing well, hope you stay well. Thank you for checking in, and please subscribe. Let me go real quickly and jump right into what's going on with fishing, because that's going to be the smallest part of what I've got to tell you this week. You know, there's just not that much going on. I don't know if you've heard, but the marina in Cabo San Lucas has been closed down to all fishing as well as all water activities. I'm sure that's probably going to happen in La Paz. Everything's kind of shut down. If you saw my fishing report last week, you know that basically spring break has been canceled. All kinds of things are empty. Everybody's pretty much gone home. Not much of anybody going down. A lot of flights have been canceled. So there's just not much going on in terms of fishing. That doesn't mean there's no fishing going on. We've got locals fishing. We've got our captains fishing with friends and with family, and they're catching fish. Here's the weird thing is, this has been off season since November to April. Weather's been really erratic all over the place. It's been windy. It's been stormy. Just hasn't been really good fishing. Well, the last 2 weeks, of course, and you know what's gone on in the last 2 weeks, and the world has changed completely. Well, the weather's gotten pretty good. The fishing has gotten good, but there's nobody fishing except, like I said, locals, our fishermen, our captains. Yellowtail are on the chew. They're biting. They're biting at Cerralvo Island. They're biting at Espiritu Santo Island. The high spots are happening. The east side of the islands are popping with Pargo, Cabrera. There's all kinds of stuff going on. These yellowtail that they're catching right now, I mean, if you check some of the photos this week, some of the yellowtail are running 25, 30 pounds. They're eating, we've got live bait too. Check that out. We've not only got squid running around, we've got sardines, we've got ballyhoo, there's mackerel if you can find them. So you've got three kinds of bait. The yellowtail are willing to bite on that, willing to bend the rods. And, they're also taking slow-trolled rapalas as well as yo-yoed iron. Some of the heavy stuff, drop it down, wind back, let it drop down, wind back again. And they're biting that. The same areas that are holding the yellowtail are also holding amberjack. You've also got jack crevalle. There's bonito biting. There's pargo. Those pargo lisa that usually show up in the spring, those big red, what we call mullet snapper, are starting to come up. This is the time of the year when they spawn, come into the shallows, and they look like, an undulating copper red thing under the water. Looks like Japanese koi on steroids. That's what these look like. And those have showed up in some of the areas. This is just the beginning of that time of the season when they come into the shallows to spawn. There's also some dorado running around. Some of the commercial guys are saying they're seeing some tuna out there. There were some wahoo hookups this week. Again, this is all coming from friends and from our captains who are out there fishing for their own families or for some fun because there's nobody out there. But the fish are biting, and that kind of brings us to the second thing. There's nobody down there. Jill and I, unfortunately, our last two trade shows, our fishing and hunting shows of the week of the year got canceled, so we missed our wonderful Salt Lake City show. And this week we would have just been wrapping up the Fred Hall show at the Del Mar Fairgrounds in San Diego. So we're 2 weeks early off of the road, and we are hunkered down just like you are, dug in our house here in the United States. And just watching the news every day. Things are changing daily. I'm afraid to post anything. I'm afraid to write anything because whatever I say, it seems like by that night, things have changed. Everything's moving. It's a crazy, uncharted world we're venturing into right now. But just like you, we're hunkered down at home. We have been off the road now for, as of today, about 9 days. And we decided we were going to self-quarantine ourselves because, well, in the last 3 months, we've been at all of these hunting and fishing shows in, I think, 14 different states. And, every week, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 people have walked through these close proximity to each other. We've been high-fiving, handshaking, hugging, talking to friends, talking to prospective clients. Nothing like social distancing. And who knows what we could have picked up. A lot of us vendors who are communicating with each other are all thinking that, probably we all got sick. During these shows, all of us get sick at one time or another. Well, this year, a number of us are talking about the fact that we came down with strange flu-like, cold-like symptoms. Wasn't really the flu, wasn't really the cold. I know Jill and I ended up at urgent care up in Seattle with some symptoms, I guess you could call them, that the doctors there couldn't figure out that was, treated it like a cold flu, gave us some antibiotics, some prednisone. 7, 8, 9 days later, we were feeling fine, but we had to continue going on with that. And because we've been in contact with so many people, we really do feel good right now. It's just that we don't want to be carrying anything, and we don't want to be responsible, certainly, for infecting anyone. In the town we have our home in the United States, our grandkids are here, they're toddlers. We certainly don't want to get them infected. There's a lot of older folks who live around our house here. We don't want to infect them. And, so we're hunkered down just like you, where you are. Jill made some great some chili verde last night. We're eating dinners together. We are making puzzles together. We're watching Netflix just like you are. I'm working out. Jill she's organizing her office. I'm going to clean the garage this week. So we're doing the same things you're doing and watching the news. And we're in communication with our captains, our employees at the Tailhunter restaurant, our managers, our drivers, and they're telling us things are really shut down. It's really eerie. All of the bars in La Paz have been shut down if they're selling only alcohol. Fortunately, Tailhunter restaurant has alcohol as well as food, so we're allowed to stay open, but we've been operating under restrictions. We've had to move all of the tables apart. Because of the downturn in business, we've had to, unfortunately and very sadly, had to let some of our employees go who've been with us for a long time, and that's really sad. A lot of folks that work with us, they are the sole providers in their particular families. We've also, cut our hours, and that's been very, very tough. So we're just trying to struggle, like everyone in the United States as well, or all of the restaurants. We're doing a lot of stuff by delivery or by pickup. So we're trying to hang in there, and we're just trying to be responsible. I know I've gotten emails and communications from folks here in the United States. Are you going back down? Can we go down even though there's not many flights? I know where we are here in the U.S., our flights are canceled, so we couldn't go back right now even if we wanted to. And if we did go back, I'll tell you what, just out of responsibility, Mexico is going to get hit. All of the professionals in Mexico, as well as the rest of the world, are saying, Mexico does not have many incidents of the COVID-19 virus right now. It's going to get hit within the next week or two. Just last night, the incidence of the coronavirus in Mexico City doubled in one night. Now, President Obrador has been saying, Mexicans are, check this out, he says they're immune. They're saying that poor people will not get it because only rich people travel. Hence, only rich people will get the virus. He's saying Mexico is fully prepared. But that being said, he's telling people they don't need to social distance themselves, continue going out, hanging out with each other, going to restaurants, despite the fact that Mexico City alone has got 15 million people in it. And according to their health experts, only 400 ICU beds in the whole of the city. Now, Mexico City's got, I think, something like 700 or 800 outbreaks right now. All of Baja at this moment has only got a handful. But what we're worried about is us coming down there. We might be carrying something, or if we're not, check this out. I mean, what if we pick up something in the shuttle van? What if we pick up something on an airplane? We touch something in the airport. With the way this coronavirus seems to hang on, we certainly don't want to bring something in and then infect our friends, our employees, or anybody else and start things going down in Baja or La Paz or anywhere, actually, even in our own neighborhoods. And that could happen, and we don't want to be responsible for that. We'll never know what happens, but that's the way this stuff is transferred, by people getting in touch with each other. So we're just hanging low just like everybody else. We're watching the news, we're watching ourselves, and we're just taking care of each other. So that's what we're going to do right now. We've done everything like you're doing. We've stood, waited. We have toilet paper. We're not hoarding. We're not hoarding anything. We're just watching everything and hanging in there. So I'm going to continue doing these fish reports as long as I can, as long as there's something to say. I hope you're doing well. I really appreciate you checking in. You take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. The sooner we jump on this, the sooner we social distance each other, the sooner we get on the other side of this curve, the sooner we can get back, take this seriously, the sooner we can get back into some normalcy and get on with our lives. In the meantime, God bless. Thanks for checking in. Please subscribe, and you take care of yourselves. God bless, and we'll see you again next week.